Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Powerful on Purpose podcast, where we talk to amazing women who are building businesses, creating missions, and really impacting the world for good. As you know, I'm a firm believer if good is going to happen and if we're going to change the world, women are going to need to be driving the bus. And today is no exception of amazing guests. So I have with me Destiny Dingle, and she's a community builder and founder of the Match Lab. And that's not match.com, but there are some similarities, right, Destiny? Like
Yeah.
matching up people. So welcome and so blessed to have you on the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation, Leslie.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love talking to fabulous women. So when we met, I was like, ooh, I would love to have you on my show.
And I was so excited to get that invite. I almost did a black backflip right there on camera. Unfortunately, you couldn't see it though. I would have broke my hip, and I probably wouldn't have been able to
I
be
was
here
gonna say,
today.
dang woman, if you even thought about it, because I was like, never, like never, even when I was young and limber, right? No.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us about the Match Lab and like what led you to creating that and doing that
Yes.
that community.
Thank you. Well, the Match Lab, in its bare bones, it is a growth community for women online service providers. So that's women in marketing, finance, coaching, consulting, what else? Writing, operations, all those lovely fields that so many women are creating businesses in these days and have been for years. And what it does is the number one thing that makes us different from any other networking space or community that we have out there. And those are all super great. But we match the members with each other each month, and we match based on alignment, goals, and where they want to get to. So it's the intersectionality of alignment, community, and business growth. And the reason that this came to be was for me, my entrepreneurial journey is actually still really early. Last month just made 2-year anniversary, and I'm so blessed to have been there. Thank you. And my journey has been a whirlwind from the beginning to where we are right now. I started off as a virtual assistant, did that for about 8, 9 months, and realized that I did not like it. And I won't hold bar on that. I didn't like the work I was doing or the clients I was working with, how I was getting them. Nothing really just felt aligned. And so I did some thinking, I did some rebranding to decide who it is I wanted to work with, the impact I really wanted to make, and the work that felt good to me to do. And so I elevated myself into an OBM, which stands for Online Business Manager. And from January of 2025 to honestly currently right now, that's what I do. However, when I started in January, I spent those next several months trying to find clients. Client acquisition, the number one struggle that new service providers have to face, have to deal with, and have to learn to navigate. And it was tough. It was really tough. I was going to all the networking events, having all the coffee chats, posting on social media all the time, doing things to really try to grow my visibility or my exposure, and it wasn't working. And so in the summer of 2025, it got to a point where the things that were happening in my ops business started to affect my personal life. And that's when I took a step back and I said, nope, absolutely not. I'm not going to struggle in both areas. We have to find what works. And so, to be quite candid with you, Leslie, that was kind of a low period for me. And so I was just shouting into the void, how the heck can I just actually get clients? And I love that the idea literally just manifested itself. I remember like it was yesterday. It was a Saturday. I was scrolling TikTok in bed, and the idea literally just flew into my window and smacked me in the head. And it originally started out as a way to help other women in our industry find more clients. But from what it initially was to what it is now, it evolved. And now it is an ecosystem for women that sends them connections that they are actually aligned to, women who share their values, how they operate, their purposes, their missions, their goals that they want to get to. So we only send you aligned matches. And then from that, we find out who is someone that can help you, who is someone that you can help. We match all of our members across 4 categories, and that's clients, support, referral partners, and collaborators, which are 4 of the most meaningful relationships any woman who has an online service-based industry needs in order to grow. And so that is what I'm passionate about.
I can tell, like I feel the passion, right? That's why I loved you when we first had a conversation. I was like, oh, she's my kind of woman.
Thank you.
And I love really what you're talking about too, this shouting into the void, because I think that is so many people's experience, honestly, at multiple levels of growth, right?
Mhm.
Because we all know you get a certain clientele and then you're like, you want to move up, need to move up. And again, it's that same situation, right?
Yeah.
That makes the Match Lab a beautiful opportunity wherever you are in your growth.
Honestly, yes. And it's so funny that you mentioned that because I was really contemplating about it for a while. What stage in business this community can really help women the most? At the end of the day, it's only for women and it is for online service providers. But is it a space that can really help women who are newer in business, who are in that middle area to where they're doing good, but they want to do great? Is it for the women who is close to that 7, 8 figure range? And as of right now, we have women all over the spectrum because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how far you get, how big you grow, how much money you make. Networking, having a solid network is how you're going to continue to evolve. And that's how businesses last. They don't last in solitary, they don't last in isolation. They last with a networking community of women who understand where you are, who understand where you want to go, and who are willing to be there for you in the long run. And those are relationships that you really only get when you truly align with the person.
Without a doubt. I think, yeah, it's beyond just the networking, right? It's that actual support in a community where, because I think that's hard to create. At least I've seen that that's hard to create.
Mhm.
Uh, that that supportive and yet challenging, right?
Yes, and that's the thing. Networking is beautiful and it has brought so many opportunities for so many women. That and networking is how you and I are able to have this collaboration right now. It's beautiful. But the thing about it is it's not consistent. It's not predictable because sometimes you go into a community or event and you can walk away with leads or new collabs and sometimes you don't. And what I've seen more oftentimes you don't. You happen to meet good connections, but your growth strategy, when you are relationship driven and when you really rely on networking to be a growth channel for you, it's inconsistent. And so the Match Lab bridges the networking and the inconsistency. And that's why we match our members monthly. So you are always going to know when your next opportunities are showing up. And you don't have to put in the work to guess or to chase or to deal with the time commitment of, okay, let me go to these networking events, no results. Let's try again next week. Still do that. You get great relationships and results from it. But this is a way that is more strategic, more intentional, and doesn't add more to your plate. And that's what I wanted to bring to other women because that's what I was going through. And even women who are further than me, they are still going through it too, just in different capacities, right?
Absolutely. And then I think there's also this thing about women getting to a certain point and wanting to help women, other women get to that point, right?
Yeah.
And so then it creates a really a beautiful synergy of, as you said, people at all different levels.
Hmm.
And yeah, we're bringing whatever our skills are to the table, sitting across from somebody who could be vastly different from us. And that doesn't enter into it because we're aligned in different areas.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah, cool. And I also want to go back a little bit too, because this whole idea I think is so interesting, and we undervalue it. That like we put the idea out in the universe. I don't
Hmm.
necessarily want to get too woo woo on that, right? But we do. We're like our brains start working. How do I solve this problem? How do I solve this problem? And the time we just sort of let it go and go on with our lives. And boom, all of a sudden, as you said, because I love that, it came through the window and slapped you in the face. Because that's how
Hmm.
my ideas are as well. It's like, bam, why didn't I think about that before?
100%. And that's why I feel this is so aligned to me. As I said before, I come from the operations background. That's what I did in corporate. It's what I started my business out with. I love a good system. I love good infrastructure. And so
Sure.
leave it to someone like me to combine that with the beauty of alignment and networking in a way to actually bring people or women rather those consistent connections. So yes, I took my ops brain, I saw a need, and I'm like, how can I make this into a system? And I did.
Exactly. How can I marry these two? I totally get it, right? I'm always like, okay, that is a problem. How can we solve that, right? And yeah, I'm 100% behind you, girl, on the systems, man. I gotta have, and in fact, if I don't have a system, it's utter chaos, right?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah. Had that experience. Yeah. Or when my system breaks, I'm like, oh, this is ugly.
And
Yeah.
it always takes a while to figure out what it is too. Even as a systems person, the platform I use, it's a platform that has a matching algorithm already embedded into it. And so it's very popular with matchmakers and dating coaches because when you think of matching, that's generally
Sure.
what you think of, right? But it's just that in a professional sense. And so even to this day, I still have issues in my system and I have to, okay, let's go fix that. Let's make it tighter. Let's make it better. Because systems, they're not easy, but when you have them in place properly, life becomes easy.
My gosh, right?
Yes.
Much easier. Yes, much easier. So, yeah, so Pat I wanna say Pod Match because now I've got Match, right? Match.com, and we're talking about Match Lab people. Then you also have another aspect to your business, right? You still help people with that back end, creating those systems, is that correct?
Yes. So I
Yeah.
do that. So in all technicality, I technically have 2 businesses I'm running right now. My initial baby is called Vital VS, and I am not looking haven't been looking for new clients for a while since the Match Lab came to be in August of 2025. And I'll tell you, Leslie, I had clients come to me and I had to refer them out to other people because is the need there? Yes. Do I want to help them? Yes. Would the extra income be great when I'm bootstrapping basically a tech platform? Yes. However, I really believe in the mission of the Match Lab. I believe in what it can be, and no amount of struggle, no amount of backfire is going to deviate from me. It's going to deviate that from me because I have never been more aligned in a mission, honestly, in my life, in my little 28 years of living, never been more aligned to something. And so this is what my attention is on, and this is what I'm going to grow and make into something that is going to last and that is going to impact our community in a way that no one's ever seen before. Because how many places have you seen a matching component when it comes to our online industry? It was such a new and innovative idea, and I shocked myself when I came up with it, to be quite honest. But it's something that's so new, and every time I talk to someone, they always say the first 2 things, and this is what you said too, Leslie, when we first talked. You said that 1, it is such a cool idea because it is. It was cool to me. It was cool to build it. And then also that I am so in love with it and so in love what it can do, and every time I talk about it without even trying, that just oozes off of me, and that's the best compliment I can get because that is so true.
Absolutely, right? And I think the kudos to you for at 28 recognizing where your alignment lies, right?
Thank you.
Because many of us struggle through that, think we have to do things a certain way, don't allow some of that creativity, some of that brainstorming, that letting go and letting the universe enter into our minds. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's also something to be recognized and celebrated.
Thank
And
you.
and you're right, your passion is contagious, right? We're all like, "Ooh, this is juicy." And it is sort of like Match.com on steroids for businesses. And who
Yes,
doesn't want that? Yeah,
yes.
pretty soon you'll be having the swipes.
Like the okay, well, you know what? Hopefully it doesn't turn into something like that, but, I have so many plans for it, I really do, and so many big things that I have coming up this year, and they're gonna be hard, and they're gonna be a little stressful, but that is business, right? Do it now, do it messy, do it while learning, pivot quickly, keep going, don't give up, and that is something in this 2-year entrepreneurship journey that I've learned, and I've learned it all hard. I've learned it all quickly, but I've also learned to adjust and to pivot quickly. It's okay to have those feelings, have those doubts. It's natural. Sit with them, embrace them, then wipe your face and get up and get back to work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you need to walk away, right? Because
100%.
yeah, we cannot hustle and grind forever. It's yeah, and it doesn't produce the creativity that you're talking about.
It doesn't, and when you try to fight it, and I'm a perfect example of that myself. I'm such a overachiever, strategic planner. I will plan the rest of my life out if I could, and it's never gonna work out that way because that is just with life, and sometimes it brings you something even better than what you could have imagined. But yes, don't fight against that. If you have something inside of you telling you this isn't it or it is not right now, even if you don't understand it right away, you have to listen to yourself because your intuition, even if you don't understand it, will never steer you wrong.
Absolutely true. Yeah. Well, tell us one of the just give us a little tease of one of the things that you got planned for Match Lab.
Well, excitingly, I just hired a new not new, but I just hired a web designer. So at the beginning of April, the website is getting a whole makeover and I couldn't be more excited. After that, I do want to start investing in SEO, but maybe on a little more exciting tip. One of the things that I do for the community is we have our community monthly events. We have connection calls, we have some co-working sessions, but the one that I really love, we have monthly expert webinar guests come on and give master classes and presentations to the community to give them, business tips, insights, real-time actionable advice that they can do to implement and improve their business. And I am part of a community and I had posted in that community, "Hey, I'm looking for collaborators to help me with this." Leslie, I thought I was going to get maybe 4, 5 people. I am booked out for the rest of the year. And that is a
Nice.
blessing. That's a blessing.
Yes,
So
it
that is
is.
super exciting. And all the topics and collaborations I have coming up.
Cool. Well, very cool. Super juicy. So, what would you tell someone that was maybe where you were 2 years ago when you started your online journey? And I think we've talked, about some of the things that you'd suggest. But if there was one piece of advice you would give someone that was listening, what would that be?
This is going to sound a little generic. It's going to sound a little cliche. It's something we hear all the time, but it never lands as hard as it needs to until you're in the thick of it and until you actually do it. And that is don't give up because our online industry, it's always been a challenge. It's always been something that we need to learn to navigate and even combat. But the reality is it's getting more difficult and it's also getting more saturated. And that's a beautiful thing. There are more women and men out there who are starting their businesses and working for themselves, trying to impact through relationships, through networking, through real community. And when there's so many people around you who are doing similar things, or in my case, when you have something that's so new that no one's really ever heard of it, it's hard for them to understand. And you're going to have to explain all the time. You're going to have to show up all the time. You're really going to have to do that grind at the beginning because I promise it is going to pay off later. And this even goes for the women who have been in business. Maybe you're pivoting, maybe you're exiting your business, maybe you're starting a new one. And the truth is just don't give up. There are so many women that I talk to consistently each week who are honest and candid with me about the struggles they're going through because that's my nature. And when I'm like that with you, it opens up the floor for people to be it with me. And just don't give up. Listen to yourself. Don't abandon it. Don't give up. Now it can be difficult to decipher between if something is just hard right now and you have to learn and stick it out, or if something truly is not aligned with you. But if you just step back, slow down, and listen to yourself, you'll know the difference. And if that difference is telling you this is it, don't give up, don't do it, no matter what's going on in life. Me personally, I am about to move. I just got a new puppy. I am getting engaged later this year. There's so many pivots going on. As I was just telling Leslie before we got on, to be honest, I was dealing with a fraud issue. Unfortunately, things can get really tough, but I see the light at the end of the tunnel. And as long as you keep your eye on it, it will work out for you. So don't do it. Just keep swimming, as Dory from Finding Nemo says. And that's my tagline. Just swimming.
I love that. Yeah, exactly. Um, Right. Or be the goldfish from Ted Lasso, right? I was like, that triggered something for me. It took me a minute, but I think that part too, we need to forget what happened yesterday, keep moving forward.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
love that advice and such a young soul with so much wisdom.
Thank
We're
you.
and we're so excited to see where your journey is going to take you next, have you back on later to share more of what you're building and doing. But I do know you have a free gift for the audience, and it has to do with Match Lab. So if you want to
Yes.
explain that for a minute, so because we're all
So
excited now to get matching.
yes. So basically, we have our membership guide, and what that does, it walks you through. It gives you a sneak peek behind the curtains of what that all looks like. Now, the thing with the members from the inside, their central hub is their member portal. And so there is a video in there about a tour of your member portal, how you can customize it, how you can attract new people, the different features that are in there to help you build your network in a way that is intentional and easy and sustainable. It also gives insights on how the onboarding process looks, and then sooner or later when I update it, it's gonna have insights on how to go about networking in a completely different way. I think that's the thing that sets me apart in our industry is that I love networking, but I have radical opinions about it if I'm being honest, ways that we can make it work better, ways that are so brand new. And so you can find all of that stuff in the membership guide.
Awesome. Because I think we all love networking,
Mhm.
but a lot of it doesn't work that well for and personality wise or otherwise. So I think we're always looking for something that's new and different and appeals or resonates with the way we want to network, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. Well, you have, which I knew you would be, been such a delightful guest. And like I said, so excited to watch your journey unfold with the Match Lab and yeah, all the amazing places you're going to go and take us
It's
all with you.
It's been amazing. Thank you again for having me, Leslie. This conversation, we're almost at the mark. It felt like we've been talking for only 5 minutes. I can do this for the next hour. Leslie, you are the best person to have conversations with, okay? I have to go back and I need to binge your entire podcast and all your episodes. This has been great.
Well, thank you. Bless you. Yeah. I try. And obviously this is my jam, kind of like, you were talking about your passions
Mhm.
and really amplifying others, particularly women's voices.
And you're doing a great job at it. You're doing great work at it, impactful work at it. So thank you for doing what you're doing in the way that
Oh, well,
you're
thank
choosing to uplift women too. Because we're doing the same thing, just in different ways. And women in our society, in our country, in our world, women deserve, like you said, to drive that darn on bus.
That's right. We do. And honestly, we need to. Not only do we deserve, we need to.
We
There
need
needs to
to.
be some change. And I really believe that women are the ones to make it. So,
Yes, we need more women in charge. The world would be a
absolutely.
much harmonious place, truly.
100%. 100%. We're totally agreed on that. So, thank you again. And everybody else, be sure and subscribe because you do not want to miss more powerful conversations like we just had with Destiny, women building businesses, changing the world, passionate and on fire.